Hey, good morning, folks. It's a beautiful day today. Warm, too warm for me, but hey, it's still a beautiful day. So I want to talk about something that me and my friend of mine was totally, different opinions about this. In the last few years, I've I really understood how personal vehicles are to a lot of Americans. All right, let me be based. Let me be honest with that thing. But what really is frustrating for me as a person who have seen so many aspect of driver aggressiveness and other situations where tickets doesn't work, suspensions don't work, and people are wondering what else they can do when it comes to cars. Let me be forward to this situation. Drinking under the influence, driving under the influence, distracted driving, what do you call it, drag racing, anything that people utilize as a vehicle for, and people are saying we should increase the fines. Okay, that's great, and for me, I believe in increasing the fines, increasing the suspension is important, and driving training is important. But one of the things that I am very aggressive, and a lot of Americans and even my friends do not believe, it's something I've learned years ago. In many industrial nation, one strike, one mistake, they lose that car. The car is impounded and will not be returned. And if it is returned, the fines can be $25,000 just to return a vehicle. There was an article I was reading here in the Seattle area, and what really was systematic frustration for a lot of people is about this one kid who has this Hellcat. He he basically invoked his belief that he has all these rights and things like that, and he can go speed, he can modify his vehicle, but he can't pay this or can't pay that or whatever. Here's the thing that I'm frustrated about, and it's something all of you guys might not agree on, and I respect that. When people like that induce the idea that it's their right to have vehicles, and they can do anything they want with vehicles. True, you have the right to have a vehicle. Yes, you have the right to do anything with your vehicle. But when you create mayhem with your vehicle, then it is our right as a society to take your vehicle away. Right? People have different viewpoints about vehicle, and that viewpoint is based on the idea that vehicles are something that is personal, and you can drive as fast as you want and whatever you want. The best thing I love is when I hear people tell me, and I hear in the media or whatever, it's their right to drive. People don't have the right to drive in this country. It's a privilege to drive in this country. When I hear people saying that they have the right, it makes me laugh. But what makes me angrier is the laws do not punish the offenders. I've seen people, oh, it's my first DUI. It's my first time I was drinking driving. Let me be forward and be frank about this. I've driven many times for years. But when I go out, when I was younger, I went to the club, I went to the bar, I always had a designated driver. I always have left my car in a parking spot. I have taken a bus, I've taken a taxi, I've taken a trolley, I've been driven home. What I really hate, doesn't matter if you're a judge, a law enforcement personnel, or a regular kid. Driving is not the right, and if you're drinking, then you shouldn't be driving. Even for one drink, 2 drinks, doesn't matter. Here's why. A few years ago, a person died. The individual drank only 1 drink. Could the drink been? It could be, but the point was he did blow a higher BAC number. Another situation, a person was distracted, hit another vehicle, didn't kill anybody. The punishment was so less that another incident like that happened 2 years later, but this time was the distracted driving. The person didn't lose any life, but they didn't lose their vehicle either. The point of the situation was, when you punish people for drinking under the influence, distracted driving, and the punishment is less than $1,000, and there's nothing else added, there's a good chance a person will always do it again. But when you have people who are racing and things like that, and they do something that can harm somebody, people have said the government should not have the right to take their vehicle. The reality, people should have the right to drive, but when a driver is very aggressive and hurts somebody, the police should have the right to impound the vehicle quickly, and to get that vehicle out, it should be over $10,000, $15,000. Here's why. There has to be cohesive fear that if you do anything bad or illegal, that can inflict real damage into your financial. That means your vehicle will be taken away. To get it back, you have to pay $15,000, $20,000, and so on and so on. Those are real issues. Those are real situations. Those are things that I personally have seen so many times that they'll do it over and over again. Now, for you guys, I know you guys don't want their vehicles to be taken away, but the problem for me personally is that the same type of people does the thing over and over again. When people says this and that, but don't have a real solution, then you need to ask yourself this. And this is something I've asked myself years ago. What if the accident or the incident with a drinking and driving person or a drag racer injured somebody I love and care? We could have stopped it by increasing the penalty or taking the vehicle away. Yes, they can find another way to get a vehicle, but it lessens the chances of a person getting back on a vehicle because we took the chance of getting that vehicle out of their hands. And if they can't afford to get their vehicle out, then it's a price they paid. People talk about choices. I made a choice to drive safe. But when somebody made a choice to drive aggressive, fast, deadly, and hurt somebody, and you as a community don't want to have aggressive laws, you tell it to the people who lost a loved one because some drinking driving person was speeding, or somebody who was speeding who can't have no patience. I've seen that. I've heard it. Why am I posting this? Because I saw another vehicle almost collide with another car a few hours ago. Not because the car that was almost hit was driving erratic or stupid. No, it was because the car was speeding. The aggressive car almost hit somebody, almost killed somebody. We're going 50, 60 miles per hour in the road. And this guy was just swerving like crazy. people always say the word, leave them alone, mind your own business, cool. But if somebody gets hurt, if I didn't mind my own business and I made a report and I saved a life, that's worth that chance. So for me, we need to be more patient, more respectful, but we need to have aggressive laws that doesn't penalize a person heavily, but penalize a person still. Losing one's right, a privilege to drive for 1 week because of the first DUI, training, and also 2 days of substance, we call it class, paid by the person themselves, and a fine of $5,000, $10,000. Second one, lose for 1 month of driving privilege, and on and on and on. Racing, $50,000 just to get the car out, and a fine of maybe $20,000, $25,000. You can race anything you want. You can have drag races in a drag race environment or controlled environment. But the reality is there's people out there who ask state, and I love the state and community saying we have no right to take a vehicle away. I've heard that. The thing that's funny is when I asked the question, you protecting the privilege of a person who can drive, but you won't protect the right of a person who might be a bystander or something, because people are offering that they're thought that it's their right to drive aggressively, and to penalize an aggressive driver heavily is a wrong move. So what do you think? Do you think our laws, our traffic laws, when it comes to DUI drivers and aggressive drivers and racers, are too lenient? I think they are. So what do you think? If you feel I'm wrong, please tell me. I'm posting it because I'm tired of seeing people and hearing people on the news getting killed because somebody wants to drive, or DUIs, or the best one I saw a few days ago. Somebody said, he'd been ticketed 6-7 times for DUIs, but he's still driving his car. Why? Because the law says we can't take the vehicle. But there's nothing in the Constitution or our law says people have the right to drive. I love it when some people says they have the right to drive. But the point is, do you think we have the right to drive? I don't. It's a privilege to drive. So, sound your opinion, your insight, and again, drive safely, take care of yourself, and please, don't drive aggressive, don't drive drunk, don't drive high, don't drive anything that's impairing your decisions. Even anger can impair your decisions. Just pull over, get some help. So take care, stay safe, and have a nice day.